for joining us at Technical Writer HQ. And thank you, everybody who's going to be watching and learning how to become an API technical writer. So, Nalini, talk to us about who you are and what you do.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm so excited to be a part of this technical writing HQ discussion. I am API technical writer. I work with Elavon for the past 1 year, and I have been as a technical writer for past 10 years. And I come with a technical background. I have an engineering degree from India, and I moved to US just 5 years ago and got an opportunity as a technical writer with Abbott, and moved on as a APA technical writer with Elavon.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about what your company does so people have some more context?
Sure. So I work for a product called for a payment gateway with Elavon, and I am an individual contributor with that product. So basically, I create developer portal pages based on the feedback from the solution engineer or any new features for the current releases, and and also if there is any improvement for the developer portal, I do update them. And I also attend a lot of meetings within the SMEs, product owners, and to get the more information, and then update my documentation and get them reviewed. Not only based on the feedback, I also go understand the surveys using Qualtrics or a mixed panel. We get some information from the customer, study it, research it, and we will understand how we can improve our dev portal based on the research, and I'll work on that also.
And I see people already commenting, which is great to see. And if you have any comments that you want to ask us, just feel free to drop them and we'll make sure to answer your questions. So one of the things I'm really excited to learn more about, and I feel like you have a good amount of knowledge around, is the path to breaking in to becoming an API technical writer. And I know there's courses online, there's courses on like Udemy, there's even text-based courses that sort of guide you. And people are trying to use like YouTube and lots of different resources to learn API technical writing. How did you go about that process and break into that field?
So as an engineering degree, I have like little bit knowledge of programming, but that is not going to help much. But what I would say is take your time to understand if you really wanted to become an APA technical writer, and then understand any job requirements. Go through two or three job requirements. Understand which language is going is the needed, highly required, and learn about the basic stuff for API documentation. So from my side, I learned Postman and Swagger tool to understand how does the request and response work. How do we a person need to give a request to our endpoint, which is the terminal, and understand the responses. So that's what I tried with many endpoints, and understood with that. So I so it's like depends upon each personality. So from my side, I did take a course, and you can also take up some Udemy courses or learning LinkedIn learning. I feel LinkedIn learning have a lot of interesting courses. It's like user friendly courses. You can go from scratch. It's not like you needed a technical background to understand it. It starts with the basic understanding of client server architecture, and how much important an API is needed for the documentation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then let's say, one thing I'm curious about is there's a lot of different fields you can get into with technical writing. What sort of drew you to the API side of things?
Okay, so the reason is that initially I was there in aeronauticals domain, biomed domain, but when the COVID started, I felt like lot of APIs are getting I mean, they are getting improved, and a lot of API fields are getting boom. So I thought like getting into a API documentation, and I can where I can stand for 10 more years would be a right opportunity for me. So I choose API documentation because a lot of financial industry, um, all industries, like not only financial industries, techies, and other banking sectors and healthcare sectors, everywhere APIs are getting used right now. We all wear like wearable gadgets right now. We carry all our gadgets right now in our hand, where all our APIs are talking. We have our smart devices and smart homes, where all our home devices talk to each other, where APIs are so important. So that's the reason why I chose to become an API technical writer.
That makes a lot of sense. And I feel like that many people who are probably watching this share the same sentiment. They're seeing where the industry is going. They know that everything that is getting built today is almost as tied to an API in some way. And you just look at what's on your desk. You have your phone, you have your computer, your laptop, whatever it may be, is tied to many different types of APIs. And one of the things that I think they're also wondering is, okay, they understand we can go to LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, but what are some of the skills that you really need in order to succeed as an API technical writer as well?
I would say like you need to have like basic understanding of what is API, what are the different types of API, and if you wanted to go as an a REST API writer, or you can be an XML API writer, and you have like different need to understand basic programmings, like basic languages like XML or PHP or JSON. Based on that, you can go ahead. And so it's like depending upon the company what you are going to choose. It's, I think, like if you have the passion for writing, passion to become an API technical writer, you can understand the language quickly. It's like initially it was too difficult. Nowadays JSON and XML are quite simple. Like you have like kind of HTML tag. Even fifth grader learns HTML right now. And it's like XML is like kind of like HTML, and where you have like some open tags of certain field, and you have like closed tags. So it's quick to learn. So I, because from my point of view, I think anyone can understand and learn and get into a API technical writer if they really have the passion to learn about it.
And then I would imagine for more complex products that you're working on, depending on the industry. So if it's like an AI industry, you may have to learn, maybe it's a little bit of Python, maybe, right? It just depends. But what you're saying is like, you got to get down to foundation first. You got to learn XML. Like that's the foundation, right?
Yeah, but you don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to have a programming language, but you need to understand. The reason is that you will mostly get the code samples from the programmers. For simple codes or simple request sample which you wanted to test using a Postman, you can create based on like whatever information you have. So for that reason, you need to have simple knowledge, not too technical. It's like just like that. For writing, a kid learns alphabets, right? Like that, to add a code sample, you need to understand, have the basic understanding of what a language, I mean, how the tags I mean, where the braces open, where it needs to get closed, need to understand the format of the program. So even Python, you need to understand basic things like how it is like called, how a comment is given, and how we open there's a certain format for HTML. You have a heading tag, then you comes the body, right? Like that, you have like certain parameters set for Python language also. In that way, they can understand simple stuff, and they can go ahead. It's not like all companies needed high techie programmers for writing the technical documentation. Only technical writers can do the correct job.
That makes a lot of sense. And then I'm curious the process that you went through in order to get your first job in the field. Did it come through networking? Did it come through maybe just optimizing your LinkedIn profile and applying to jobs? What was the process that you went about to stand out as a candidate?
When you wanted to be a technical writer, you need to set your goals clearly. So, what are the companies you are going to apply? Do you wanted to be a hardware technical writer? You wanted to apply as a software technical writer? You want to be a UX experience technical writer? You want to be a proposal writer? Technical writing is a like vast stream. So you need to set your goal first, which industry you are going to go, brush up your skills, and make sure you attend interviews how much ever you are getting. Simultaneously work on your LinkedIn profile, whatever. So you should showcase your LinkedIn profile such that whatever rewards or honors you got in your previous companies, or get recommendation from your ex employees, or and ex workers, and then make it like showcase in your LinkedIn profile, and and try to reach out the recruiters, whoever, or posting the job profile, and try to apply as much as possible, and don't ever give up and keep trying, and you will land in your perfect job.
I like that advice a lot. I think it's important for people to narrow the scope. First, what part of technical writing do you want to work in? Just keep narrowing it down. So otherwise, you can't work your way backwards. You're trying to work your way backwards from too horizontal of a patch, and you're not going to move anywhere. Now, talk to us about some of the challenges that you face with technical writing, and maybe that's working with SMEs. Maybe that's the process of the document development lifecycle and certain challenges that come with it in order for your feedback to be in that process in a very smooth way. So, what are some of the challenges that you face, and how do you overcome them?
So yeah, as a technical writer, you feel that you are not so much important in the documentation, like I mean the software development life cycle. But clearly speaking, you are the product. You have to wear the customer shoes and act like a customer, and you need to understand from customer point of view, and convey the message clearly to the customer. So in that point of view, you need to when a techie or a developer or SME is going to provide some information to convert it into a document, you need to understand where does this document going to go. You need to understand from the audience analysis, is it going to go in the support center, or it's going to be an FAQ, or it's going to be in a dev portal, or it's do we need to just mention in the release notes how we are going to do these things. Figure out that first. It's going, if it is going to be in dev portal, need to understand that, research, explore in the sense, go and compare the knowledge whatever you got with the other your competitor products, or the product whatever you're having in your own company. Compare the idea, is that available in the market, and if it is available, if which competitor who's that, and go and how they have written the documentation, what are the steps they have gone through, and they've explained in this in their document. Just understand that, then you can go and write your documentation. And sometimes SME may not be clear, and you need to research and keep all your points when you interview with SME again, and tell your points, and to get more information from them. If they are not clear, get some more information from another developer, or get information from the tester. So first, I think like getting information is like kind of a little bit a hurdle for me. uh, Sometimes I lack information. Without information, I cannot proceed with my documentation. So that is lack of information. Without that, I cannot do anything. Second is getting like last minute update for any release. That is another hurdle what I faced. It's like when you have released certain date, like you are not be informed. So get the technical writer needs to get part into all meetings. From the design phase they have to get part into the meetings and understand how what the feature is going on, what are the features need some content updates. They have to understand, they have to be part in all meetings and clearly know. um, then other than that is um, yeah other than that is getting the the technical writer need to have more knowledge on the process. So they should not get stuck somewhere else, don't know like where to proceed. They should not be in that way. They have to know the clear process. If there is a particular playbook something available in their SharePoint, they have to understand whom to approach if they are stuck. So that's another hurdle what technical writer will face, because everyone seems to be busy, and if they are going to be stuck in some place, they should not like whom I'm going to approach. They should not be like that. Instead of that, they have to approach, they have to have a great communication skill, the great interviewing skills, and great team collaboration is needed for a technical writer.
That makes a lot of sense. And we have a comment here by, I believe his name is pronounced Arkham. He says, lack of information, and he can definitely relate to that. And it's why he tries to be a part of certain meetings to get that information. Um,
Yes.
and I'm curious of some things that you do to provide visibility into the communication. So maybe it's tools that you use. I don't know if you guys use Confluence and Jira. I know those are very popular. And I've talked to technical writers that use a spreadsheet connected to Jira and trying to find the best ways just to manage all their work and provide visibility into what they're working on. So that way people know they're like, okay, this person hasn't responded to our technical writer. And so it doesn't ultimately fall on you. And because communication is that big hurdle.
True. Yeah. And in my company, we like right now we use Jira, Confluence. So I don't save much on my computer. So everything in my open space, workspace. So that I will not lose any information. So in my Confluence sheet, have my story listed out, and which would be like linked to the um, for the certain we have like sprint meetings going on where the stories needs to be added. So my stories will be linked to that stories whatever listed in the sprint meetings. So whatever information I have, my scrum master would be available to see what I have it. So we have like open space, like what our team members can visit the document releases, I mean stories, whatever I'm working on. And we have some other tool called version 1, where we version 1 and Jira, where all the story content, whatever task I'm going to work on, I will have them added in the description in the story. So it makes like more sense. Like even if I'm not there or somebody is going to work on my task, they can know what is going on, what's the steps needs to proceed, if like I have stopped or I've kept it incomplete. So everything is transparent, and so that nothing will break the chain documentation flow.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think it's very important for everybody to know what's going on, and at least if they want to, right, to have the ability to do so. Doesn't mean that they actually do. um, and one of the things we mentioned earlier while we were talking was that you saw where the future of technical writing was going, and is one of the reasons that you decided to learn API technical writing. And when you look at like the next 10 years of technical writing and some of the things that are coming up, what do you see becoming a part of the industry, whether that be new tools, new types of documentation, and would love to hear your thoughts.
Definitely technology is going to grow. It's never ending process. At the same time, learning is not a never ending process. So when you want to grow in an industry, want to stay in the industry, you need to keep your knowledge updated and technology updated. So when I started my career, I was, I mean, it's like kind of 20 years ago. I was a technical writer, but using only MS Office tools. Now it's been, when I turn around and see, there has been like a lot of tools I've used. In between, I've used RoboHelp, Madcap Flare, and now, right now, I've used Markdown and Bitbucket, and push the changes using Bitbucket, Git, and I think it's not, now again we are going to move to Drupal or CMS system, where like the systems technology is growing and we are going to upgrade ourselves. Just like iPhone, we update our phones, right? Like that, we have to keep on upgrading ourselves to, in whatever career it may be. It's technical writer, especially, you need to keep updating to stand in the industry. And within, I think, after within 10 years, the requirement for technical writer is going to be boom, and more than 30 percentage will be like, there'll be more employers over there in the technical writing field.
I agree. I think technical writing is still a subject that's not very well known. And a lot of people are doing technical writing. It's just not called technical writing yet. I consider it similar to how project management became product management, how it broke off. And originally, all product managers were just called project managers. And then they're like, well, they're not really doing project management. What are they actually doing? And that's how product management came about. So I think technical writing is very similar. And as people define it more and as the term grows in popularity, it's going to be more of a booming field. I do see another comment. So Grayson asked, what are the important elements to include in API documentation?
Important elements to include the API documentation. So API documentations are like kind of different. Uh, I mean, a different stuffs are there. So if you need to think if it is an integration document, or it's going to be SDK, and yeah, okay, SDK. So from integration point of view, like you need to understand what are the methods they are going to use, what are the parameters. I mean, um, first you need to talk about like getting started, how the client is going to get started once they purchase their product, purchase their product. So how will they integrate their API to their APIs? So they have to have that, the API documentation should have a clear getting started page, where it talks about how to use the environment, how to set up, a sandbox environment, or to have a production environment go alive. And then we need to talk about the methods, whatever they are going to use it. And each method page should have the parameters described, and what are the endpoints they are going to use it, and what are the description about the parameters. And along with that, they have to provide some examples, code samples, request and response samples. And they need to provide some error codes information if they are facing any problem, and troubleshooting information. So these are like kind of important stuff they need to have it in the dev portal.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think there's a lot of information too in terms of format that you can sort of look at what the best people do in terms of setting up their API documentation and integrate that for your own. I would probably give them a good head start. We have another comment that came in that said, "Hello, Nalini. Well done. I like your comment about you are the product. The tech writer gives us the product from the writings." And which is very true. I think that's a great comment to just reiterate. And I know we covered a lot here in this video. One of the things that I think people are very interested in is, let's say you are looking to hire an API technical writer, because many of the people who are watching this video are looking to break into API technical writing. And what would you look for qualities wise for someone to join your team or to become an API technical writer?
First, I would understand how the person is able to catch up, to learn about the product. You know, learn about the product and how they can collaborate, how their analytical skills are, so that they will know like if they are stuck up or if they are whom to approach. So good analytical skills are needed, and good writing skills are needed, and then analytical skills, writing skills, and then they need to have the product knowledge. They should have the need to learn about the product. It's not like if you are given some device to in your hand, if your device is given to a small child, the child will open that. If just consider like Lego, a product is given in a Lego format, the kid is like interested in breaking up the parts and know what it is, and they can know how to form it. Like that, it's a technical writer needs to know what is the product, how does it work. So they should understand, they should have the passion to learn about the product. In note, I mean, not or everybody can come and understand outside, from outside point of view. When they have become a technical writer, they have to become a customer. They have to learn how it is going to work, how it's going to be useful for the customer, how is it like very accessible for everyone, is it helpful. So you have to think in different angles. Um, and if they have that thinking, good thinking skills, then they are the right person. So, three aspects I would prefer: good writing skills, analytical skills, and they have to have the great thinking skills to understand about the product. They have to convey them in proper way.
Yeah, and you can't fake product knowledge. That's the one thing you can't fake. Uh, and just before we go, is there any more advice that you have for people who are looking to break in and become an API technical writer?
Yeah. So from for this, my suggestion is, if you wanted to become an APA technical writer, keep going through the courses, study, put a schedule for yourself, spend an hour or 2 hours a day, and keep up a plan, and go through some courses or study materials, whatever available online. Go through some YouTube videos, understand, get more knowledge, go from scratch, understand and learn about different tools whatever there in the market. There are a lot of tools which you can use for trial basis. You can try Postman, Swagger, and stuffs, and keep trying, keep preparing yourself. And if i'm I just came into this field just an year ago. I have like multiple breaks. I didn't give up. I started 20 years ago, but I had like, due to my personal stuff, I took a lot of breaks, but still I'm able to catch it, because it's like I had the need, passion to learn, to understand, and keep myself updated based on the technology upgrade. So I say like, keep learning, keep yourself updated. You will able to catch up.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Nalini, for being here with us today and joining the Technical Writer HQ community and giving us so much knowledge on how to break in and become a great technical writer and API technical writer. And just from the comments, it seems like people are really excited. We're really happy with a lot of things that you said and the advice that you gave. So this video is also going to be available for replay if anybody wants to watch it again. It's going to be up on YouTube, so make sure to go ahead and check it out there on our YouTube channel. And we'll go ahead and rock and roll from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Josh, for this opportunity.